You can give mama the finger, you say?
Yeah, I do.
And what do you mean by that?
So recently just started listening to you.
This your first time here?
Yes, first time here.
Oh, welcome. What's your first name?
Thank you, Stephanie.
Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Recently just listening to you, I'm still working on forgiving her, haven't forgiven her.
And why not?
It's just kind of hard. I know I've forgiven her like years ago.
Let me hold that point.
Okay.
No, see how everybody have the same problem? It doesn't matter the color. Everybody's scared of mama. Everybody. It's the same thing. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's the same thing. But we think it's different because of our color, our finance, and, oh, they holding me back. Nobody can hold you back in life if you don't live in your imagination. That is an illusion too. But go ahead.
With the finger aspect, though, it's just started happening. Like before, I was like, oh, no, that's your mom. You have to be respectful. But working on the forgiveness aspect of things, I'm just kind of stuck there. I know it's easy if I would go and do it for my dad because we talk all the time.
Yeah.
But with my mom, I'm just like, I just know it's a deeper conversation. As she was saying, it's going to be a multiple conversation thing. I don't think I want to have a multiple conversation.
And how do you know that's what it's going to be?
So I started it, when I first started watching you, I started with the forgiveness, and she was like, what do you mean? And I just kind of like choked up. And I was like, oh, she's going to keep asking that. And that's kind of what it's been. She's continuing to ask that. So just trying to find the space, I guess, to say it and not feel anything on the back end.
Why not just say, well, I've been resenting you because you imposed your life on me or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for resenting you. Why not just say it?
Okay. I'm going to just
No,
say
that
it.
was a question.
I don't know, though. I've played it out, I guess, in my head because, that's what the devil say. Get it all together, play it all out. So I guess that's kind of where I get stuck.
The devil keeping you in hell.
Yeah, big time.
The beginning of overcoming fear is to see that you're angry and that you resent your parent and go and shake in your boots but forgive them. That's the beginning of overcoming fear because you're facing it.
Okay.
And you're going if you stay with it, you're going to see that is an illusion. And all your life you've been living in an illusion life. It's never been real.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is, though.
And you don't like yourself and they don't like you. Have you noticed you don't like yourself?
Yeah, big time, a lot.
Anyone that has anger don't like themselves. Did y'all know that? You punish yourself more than your enemy can possibly punish you. Isn't that amazing? And you blame your enemy. But anyway, you notice that you don't like yourself?
Oh, yeah.
And what is that like for you knowing you don't like yourself?
It's rough. It's
In what way?
a painful process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hell, right?
Yeah, it's hell.
Are you tired of living in your hell?
I am.
Well, forgive mama.
I'm working. I'm going to forgive her, too, yeah.
But there's nothing to work on. It's like lifting weight. You're not going to get muscles until you lift the weight, right?
Yeah.
The courage will not come until you do it.
Just do it, okay.
So there's nothing to work on. You can't build up courage and then go. You have to go shaking in your boots.
All right. I gotcha.
And the devil is trying to talk you out of it because he's living inside of your imagination and emotions, and he doesn't want to leave you. So he's talking you out of it. That's not you. He's telling you, oh, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. And so when I say give mama the finger, what I mean is be honest, but don't resent her.
Gotcha.
Just don't be angry. Just as we couldn't help ourselves, she couldn't help herself.
Gotcha.
The same devil is driving her. That make sense?
Yes.
Are you married?
I am.
Oh, you must give your husband hell, huh?
Sometimes.
Poor guy. How does he deal with your hell?
How do you deal with my hell?
No, you tell me first and then I ask him.
He just goes mute. Sometimes he's just like, you got to forgive your mother. And I'm like, yeah, I do got to forgive my mom. But I think listening to you have really kind of opened like a big eye for us and where I am and how I function for us to be a little bit better in how we're responding to each other.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, go and forgive your mother. You're doing the prayer, right?
I'm working on that.
Are you doing the prayer?
No.
What? And so what are you working on then? You ain't go to
I
mama.
gotta open it up
You're
and
not
read the
doing the
prayer.
prayer. What are you working on?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Get in there from where?
So like opening the browser, listening, reading the silent prayer, that's where I am. So I opened it today. Now getting to read it is the next part of it.
You don't even have to read it. Just listen to it and do it.
Yes.
You got to start serious. But now that you have a baby, a little baby,
Yeah.
you're going to pass that hell on to your child. And you don't want to, but you
Right.
will.
Right.
Because you don't have the love yet. That makes sense?
Yes.
You don't have time to waste. You about to destroy another soul.
Please don't. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And please not. You know.
I can't hear you.
Not trying to. Working on to not do that.
I know you're not trying to,
Yeah.
but because you're in your abnormal nature, a nature of anger and no love, you can't help it. You can only give out what you are.
Right. Correct.
So I know you don't want to, but you can't give something that you don't have, just like your mother.
Correct.
You love your husband?
I do.
No, you don't.
But yeah, I don't. No, that's
You just lied.
I don't, because I'm in my hell, so.
Uh-huh. Why did you say yes?
Because I feel like I do, but now listening to you and learning, I'm like, oh, I guess I don't really love nothing, right? So, yeah.
And what does love feel like that makes you feel like you do?
Comfortable, I guess.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah.
And how would you feel
Comfortable.
when he don't love you back?
Uncomfortable. Like
See?
I'm in a hell.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Because you don't love him. That thing you're trying to get from him, you call it love, but you're really trying to fill this void, this frustration and this emptiness you have.
Right.
That can never do it. You're trying to get something from him to fill a spiritual void, and only forgiving will do that. The light of God will come in and do that. No, he will. If your husband showered you with this fake love, you hate him for that. I'm tired of you loving me. Won't you be mean to me sometimes? I'm tired of you doing everything I want you to do. You get irritated at him. Isn't that right?
That's correct, yes.
You'll see him coming, he'll have some flowers, and you'll be like, oh, Lord. But no human being can fulfill that. So face it and go and forgive her.
Yes, sir.
All right? And do
Thank
the prayer
you.
too.
I will, thank you.
All right? Any question about anything?
No.
Okay. And you're the husband?
Yes.
What's your first name?
Gabriel.
Welcome, man.
Appreciate
And so how do you deal with the hell in her?
Yeah, at times I'm silent. I look at her because I know she can't help herself at that moment. So instead of berating her with, I just simply tell her, like, you have to get over that. You have to get over that. You have to forgive your mother because that stuff's eating you inside. You know what I mean? So that's really where I'm at with it.
Did you go and forgive your mother?
Absolutely.
And how did it go?
I forgave her roughly about 3 years ago. And it was before I ever knew that you existed. And it was like a weight that lifted off of my shoulders because I was carrying that anger all the way since I was little, just doing a whole bunch of wild stuff. So when I forgave her, she started crying.
Nice.
She started crying.
And you were
because
like, what the?
Yeah, a little bit, but I understood that she couldn't help herself either.
Right.
And I think it was roughly maybe 8 months later, I went down to Haiti with me and my father, and we were sitting out on the galley, drinking, smoking cigars, and I forgave him as well.
Nice.
And he kind of looked at me like, whatever. That's his demeanor.
Right.
But yeah, it was a weight that lifted off of my shoulders. I felt light ever since, so I don't get as angry, as I used to, but I'm still trying to overcome that.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I'm not.
Beta. And why you're not doing, you desperately need to do it because you have a child now, and you got to be aware so you see your wife when she's out of control that she doesn't destroy your child.
Right. Like I've done it.
But why don't you stay with
I'm
it?
not active with it.
And why not?
I don't know. I think, life just bombards you from left to right. You wake up with 101 different thoughts in your mind.
I rest my case.
Yeah, all thoughts, all lies, all the time.
Yeah.
It's
And you
truth.
keep worshiping the devil in the morning time.
Right.
When will you stop worshiping the devil? All thoughts are of the devil. And when you believe him, you're worshiping him. Did you know you were worshiping the devil?
Now I do.
You didn't know it before?
No, not.
Yeah, the devil tell you, oh, you don't have time for that. You got all these things you got to do. And you say, okay, Father, and you get up and follow him. Because in reality, the only reason you got so much to do, because you're in your ego. We don't have that much to do. Life is not complicated where we got to be busy all the time. And you're being busy because you can't handle not having anything to do. You feel lonely, you feel scared, you feel empty, you feel like life is not working. So you got to have something to do. But in real life, you don't need to have all that stuff to do. You're worshiping the devil when you do that. God said, and it's true, his way is easy, his burdens are light. Satan's way is busy and frustrated and in a hurry and comparing and competing and carrying on. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
So stop worshiping the devil, and the more you do it, the more time you will have to do it, because time will disappear. Time will disappear. In real reality, there is no such thing as time. It's an illusion in your head. What do you think about that?
That's profound.
So get with the prayer. Both of y'all, you can get with the prayer and stay with it.
Absolutely.
And don't do it. Don't say to yourself, I'm doing this for my family. You're doing it for yourself, to know thyself and come back to the Father. And he will guide you. All right? Any question about that?
No.
How often do you throw rocks at others? Uh-huh.
You know, I was just telling her, like,
I can't hear you.
I like to pitch rocks a lot. You know, I'm very critical in certain instances. Yeah, sometimes it's just for fun to laugh at it. You know, it's nothing like with malice intent, right? But yeah, I pitch them pretty often. I'm dialing it back because I'm learning, like, whatever I do is just a mirror reflection.
Yes.
Right? So it's like looking
100%.
at the pond and tossing a rock at my image, and everything goes ornery, right? So, yeah. dialing it
Amazing.
back.
Well, do the prayer so you can become aware of all those things.
Right.
And when you're aware of them, they disappear. You can't make yourself stop doing it. You just need to be aware that you're doing it. You need to see that you're doing it, and it will stop on its own, because it's part of the ego.
Gotcha.
Amazing, huh?
Absolutely.